Hi, I'm Christina and this is Baking with Chickens. Today, I need to use up extra egg whites, so we're making Angel Food Cupcakes. It's not whipping anymore. Oh, I think I f***ed it up. Should I just keep whipping them? Damn. I have egg white meringue pitaya powder soup. I don't even know how to save this. This blows. Failed meringue, Angel Food wrinkly cupcakes. Oh, I shouldn't have put that in my mouth. All right, so this entire project was a colossal fail. And I got shit in my hair. Today's a bad day.
Let's talk about failure for a minute. Failure is a part of life. It's how we learn, and failing is important. Most baking blogs or Instagram things that I see, everybody really only posts, the beautiful finished product, and we don't really celebrate the big epic fails. And I want to show you this fail because it's important, because that's how we learn. We learn from our mistakes. Success feels really good, but we don't learn as much from them. So stay tuned at the end of this episode. I'm going to show you a walkthrough, step-by-step of exactly what went wrong, and so that we can all learn why my Angel Food Cupcake failed. And hopefully, next time, we'll learn something new. So celebrate those fails. I'm calling it Show Me the Ugly. Just like this little gal here. This is Butterberry, and she doesn't look so hot because she gets picked on, but we still love her just the same. And her best friend misses her.
Angel Food Cupcakes are light as air and there's no fat. So typically when you make a cake, there's butter or egg yolks that are fat that help you make the cake. So Angel Food Cake is just egg whites and cake flour and some water to help it rise. So we'll see what happens. The first step in the recipe is to pulse the sugar to get it super fine. You need super fine sugar because when you whip it into the egg whites, it has to suspend and not cut through and take out all of that air. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it in the food processor and pulse it. All right, when it's super fine, we're going to add our cake flour and salt. So I did not have any cake flour, I only had all-purpose flour. So we can do a substitute and add in a little bit of cornstarch to make cake flour. The reason why you want superfine cake flour instead of all-purpose is because if you use all-purpose in this really light Angel Food Cake, the cake will be too dense. So what I did was I took out a little bit of the flour and I added in a little bit of cornstarch. So if you're wondering what the proportions are, it depends on how much you have. So do a quick Google and find out what it is. I have half a cup of flour, so I did a half tablespoon of cornstarch. So the next step is to add in my cake flour mixture into the sugar in the food processor, add some salt, and then pulse it until it's aerated and fluffy. We're done. So we'll set this aside. Now we're gonna whip our egg whites into a nice fluffy meringue. So I have my egg whites here that were left over. I used these previously to make the banana pudding, and now I have all these egg whites that need to be used up. I'm gonna add this cream of tartar to it. What this does is it helps stabilize to keep it nice and fluffy and not fall. Looking pretty good. Let's check again. We don't want to over whip because as soon as we over whip it, there's no going back. And now we're going to want to sift in our flour and sugar mixture. So sifting means you just want to do a little bit at a time. I'm going to use this little basket to sift it in. Add a little bit at a time, not all of it. So the secret to Angel Food Cake is to keep it really light. So now we're going to add it into our cupcake liners. Making meringue icing to go with our Angel Food Cupcakes. So if you take a close look at these Angel Food Cupcakes, they're kind of deflated and wrinkly. So Angel Food Cupcake fail But you know what? They still taste really good, and there's nothing that icing can't fix. So we're gonna make some meringue icing, which is basically like a marshmallow fluff to go on top. And I'll talk about why these failed later. So the first thing we're gonna do is boil some sugar water and whip up our egg whites. So I have some egg whites in here and vanilla, and we're gonna whip these into a meringue, and then we're gonna drizzle some hot sugar in there. These are soft peaks. I'm gonna give it a little bit more. Okay, it's looking closer to stiff glossy peaks. I'm gonna add in my pinch of salt and to give this a little bit of color. You don't have to give this color. I mean, it's just basically gonna be like a marshmallow, but I thought it'd be fun to make these pink. So I have this really cool pink pitaya superfood coloring. So it's just powder. So this is basically powdered freeze-dried dragon fruit, and I got it on Amazon. This is from Suncore Foods. They're pretty awesome. They make all different colors, and if you want to do natural colored food dyes, these are a great way to do it without using like the gel food colorings, which are artificial flavors. So if you take a look inside, it's this really cool powder. So we're gonna put some spoonfuls in, and it's gonna make it a nice pretty pink. I don't know if this is gonna work. It's not whipping anymore. Can I over whip meringue? Oh, I think I fucked it up. Now what? Well, it's still... Should I just keep whipping them? I can't tell if this is over beaten or I added stuff too soon or what. It doesn't look like it's like whipping anymore. No, I think it's toast. Damn. Let's take a step back and analyze why this whole thing failed. So the meringue failed, I think. A couple things. So if you take a look at this closely, you'll see a couple things here. So this is my meringue and it's watery. So it was making soft, stiff peaks before I added the powder. Now, ideally, you should be able to add it, and maybe I added it too early. It should have been, I added it when it was at soft peaks, and I should have waited till it got to stiff peaks. So one possibility why this failed is I added this too early and it changed the chemical makeup. Maybe the sugar could have been wrong. If you see, like, this is like super hard, this is hardball crack sugar. Yeah, I shouldn't have put that in my mouth. You're not stuck to my tooth. So I don't even know if the sugar incorporated into this properly. I don't even know what to do with this now. But I have egg white meringue pitaya powder soup instead of this beautiful marshmallow fluff frosting that I wanted. So I don't even know how to save this. If you've overbeaten meringue, you can sometimes save it by adding in a fresh egg white, but I don't even know what to do with this. Maybe we can bake it and come up with some crunchy cookie-like thing. We'll try that. Who knows? At least we'll learn something. Okay, so now let's move on to the cupcakes and let's talk about why these maybe failed. So Angel Food Cakes are really particular because they are only using the egg white and the steam in the water to make it fluffy. So there's nothing else, there's no leavening agent, there's no baking powder or anything to make it fluffy. So you see mine and they're wrinkly and deflated. There could be a couple reasons. One reason could be because I didn't sift. If you didn't sift your flour into the egg whites when you folded it, that is maybe why, but you saw that we did sift it, so maybe I didn't fold it properly or fold it good enough, or I deflated it somehow. The second reason that this maybe failed was I maybe used the wrong type of sugar. So in Sally's recipe, she said use superfine granulated sugar. So you can get superfine by getting baking sugar. You saw I put it in the food processor to make it superfine, but I used organic cane sugar, That maybe had an effect on it. I didn't use baking sugar. I was lazy. I had a bag and I decided to use the bag I already had open, just regular granulated sugar. So if the sugar granules aren't small enough and they aren't light and fine, they're too big, and so then when you mix them in with the egg whites, that cuts out the air. So that's also maybe why it was so ugly. And then you'll see my little cakes here have little nipple dimples because I didn't do a good job smoothing them over. But, you know, they taste pretty good still. So let's open one up since these are all destroyed anyways. So yeah, so you see they're kind of lumpy and it's sticky. It's not so bad on the inside. Still good. I mean, I guess that's a fun part of baking. I mean, this was a total fail, but I'm still gonna eat it, and I'm sure my friends are still gonna eat it. They don't care that it's ugly, so. Oh, fuck. Let's bake these and see if they turn into anything. It's raining today. I was gonna make macarons with the fucking egg whites, and it's raining, and it's too humid, so I decided to make these instead, and this today just didn't work out. It's okay. Till next time, hopefully something better.
And you got shit in your hair.
And I got shit in my hair.